Hey everybody, it's Leonie from WCKI and welcome to our next tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely little daisy using chains. So you can maybe make a daisy chain. Jokes aside, I'm going to show you today how to make this easy daisy. The stitches that we will be using in this will be your chain stitch. You will also be using double crochet for the center part here, and then we'll get over to our chain stitch once again to make the petals. It is a very quick and easy little flower that you can use either as an embellishment, or depending on your yarn thickness, you might use it in an outfit altogether, make a top out of this, which we might get into one day to do all of that fancy lace work. But for today, I'm just going to show you how to make this little daisy, which you can use as an embellishment on a top. I have made one as a test out of crochet number 5. You can see it's much smaller than our friend over here. But this one I made with the red center. I still need to finish it off though. But I made this to zhoosh up a black top that I'm busy making, and it looked a bit dull. Although the stitching and everything it's a nice pattern, but it looked dull. So I made this one just to test and see whether it will work by putting this onto the black outfit. But as you can see, it is much smaller. This was done using crochet number 5 from L, and this was done using a double knit, also from L, the family knit, as you can see here in the background. Yes, I'm a big L fan. No, I don't work for them. I just love their products, and it's South African. So yes, that's why I try and favor our local made products. So in order for you to make this size flower, or this type of flower, like I've mentioned, I've used family knits double knit, and I've used a 4mm crochet hook. Now the wool will always suggest the sizing that you require, and as you can see here, it says here that the top picture is for your crochet hook, one down will be for your knitting needles. Now here it suggests, let's just bring it a little bit closer, there we go, that you need a 4mm needle if you want to use this family knit double knit. And if you're going to use knitting needles, you'll need a 3.25 to a 4mm. Okay, so that is your suggestion. You can always just test your tension, and if you feel that your piece that you've made, because there they give you the tension that you can test it on. If you put on the amount of stitches required and you knit the amount of rows, you should get that size square. If it's not, you will have to then adjust your needles. But I must say, family knit suggests a 4mm. I do it with a 4mm and it comes out wonderfully. But again, just test. But for the purposes of this exercise, we are going to jump in. Now I've already got one here with the white center with rose pink petals. I'm going to switch this one around, and I'm going to do my center with a nice pink. Let's just put that one to one side, and I'll do the petals in white. Let's see what that color looks like. Now to start off, we're going to do a slip knot. Now remember, or if you haven't seen any of the other videos, let's show it again. In order to make a slip knot, wind the wool around your finger. Take this to the back like that. So your circle that you've had around your fingernails in front, and then you're going to put your crochet hook in like that and just pull it tight. Remember, I'm going to do a lot of remembering here. Don't ever pull this too tight, because you need some movement. Can you see there? I can actually spin it quite in the round here. But don't pull it too tight, because you need the movement. You need to pull the hook through once you started crocheting. So don't pull this one too tight. Right, in order for us to start, we need to start off with 5 chain stitches. Now, Your amount of chain stitches is actually going to determine the size of the hole that you can see here. But now for this I'm going to start with 5. If you want the little space there to be larger, you will add more chain stitches, but that comes with then that you've got to add more double crochets, which you can do in future when we start getting creative here, or shall I say adventurous. But for now we're going to start with 5 chains. So what we're going to do is yarn over the hook, pull through. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So there's your 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now in order for us now to make it into a circle, we're going to do a slip stitch into this very first stitch that you can see here. So usually when you read the pattern, they will refer to this as your foundation chain. And as well as remember that the chain, when you start reading the patterns and the diagrams, chain's abbreviation will be CH. So your pattern for this one will then read CH5 or chain 5, and then it will say slip stitch. So you then know in order to form a ring, you need to make a slip stitch. So you'll go into the first stitch that you've made, just like that. Put the yarn over, and then just pull it through both the loops, just like that. And there you will see our little circle. Let me just get some more yarn here. There we go. Right, so now you've made your little circle. This tail, I'm going to carry it along, and I'm going to carry it along on the top, like the edge here of my little ring, because I'm going to crochet over it as we go. That assists in weaving it into your project. So we don't want to cut it off yet because it can wiggle loose and undo your work that you've just done here. So now in order for us to make the center of our daisy, we are now going to make double crochets. So the abbreviation for double crochet will be DC. So I'm now going to make a double crochet. Please, just also another thing to remember is that I use US terminology. I keep on reminding everybody. So we use US terminology. Right, now I need to, in this circle, have a total of 16 double crochets. Now in order for us to start with a double crochet, you will notice that in your patterns it always says to you that your first double crochet is replaced by 3 chain stitches. This will always be like that because I cannot just slap the wool around the needle and push it in there and start making my double crochet. Although there's nothing stopping me from doing it, but because the wool is not up into the stitching, or not stitching, into the crochet work at the same level now, it is going to pull weird in the beginning. It will just pull down. So in order for us to get it nice and your work even and your stitches all of equal length, the first double crochet is always replaced with 3 chains. So let's go. 1, 2 and 3. Always remember that your first double crochet is replaced with 3 chains. Now I'm ready to do a double crochet. So in order for me to do a double crochet, I've got to put the wool around my needle. Now I've got to go into the circle, not into any of the stitches, but straight through the circle. Grab the yarn from behind and bring it through. And now I've got my 3 stitches, or 3 loops rather, on my crochet hook. Yarn over the crochet hook, take it through the first 2 loops, yarn over once again, and through the last 2 hoops. And there you've made your first double crochet. Right, let's just move this up a bit. Now I said I need a total of 16 double crochets. Now remember that, I'm saying this word a lot today, remember. Your 3 chains at the beginning counts as your first double crochet. So I'm going to have 15 double crochets plus my chain 3 at the beginning. So let's do another one. It's yarn over, put it through the circle, right through the middle of the circle, grab the yarn from behind and bring it through, and let's just make them all equal in length. Yarn over, take it through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and the last 2, and there we've got another double crochet. Let's do one more. Yarn over, through the circle, bring up the yarn, yarn over, through the first 2, yarn over, the last 2. And you will continue with this now until you have 16 in total. Remember, it will include your chain 3 at the beginning. You can also, if you see the space is getting a bit tight, you can always move this up. Let me just show you. Let's make one more. Yarn over, through the center, bring through the yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Because they move about, can you see I've got a bit of a gap going there? So all you do is you just hold on to it and let's just move it up. There you go. Now I'm going to leave you so you can finish your double crochets in the round. I'll see you at the end of this round. So when you've done, you will have 16 double crochets, and the first one, your 3 chains, counts as your first double crochet. So you'll have 3 chains and 15 double crochets. I see you at the end of the round. And there we go. So I've now done my 16 double crochets, and let's just do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. In order for you to close this little gap that we have going here, well, before we do that, let me just cut off my little tail that I've been dragging along. Let's just make sure that we get that out the way. Do proceed with caution. You don't want to cut your project like I have done once. And of course I had to start from scratch. Not one of my shining moments there. In order for you now to close off this little gap that we have here, we're going to make a slip stitch into the 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. So into the 3rd chain, we're going to make a slip stitch to close this gap off here and to make it a circle. Now remember, when we do a slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, we just put the hook through the stitch. So that's one of the reasons why you can't pull them too tight either while you are making this, because otherwise you won't be able to get the hook in. Put your hook through, grab the yarn from behind and just bring it through. And there we have our little circle. And now I like to finish it off. I just pull it through and I'm going to cut the off there, and let's move our pink out the way. So now I've done my little inside. Now I like to work this away immediately, otherwise it dangles in the back, it gets in the way, as well as if you are making a project where you're going to need 10, 20, 50 of these little daisies. If you leave all these tails until the very last to then work away, it gets extremely boring. It's not one of my favorite things to do, so I try to get them out of the way as quickly as possible. Now I forgot to take out a smaller needle now, so I'm going to have to skip it on this one. But what you will do is you'll put the crochet hook into the back of those stitches, and then we'll pull this one through. Now this one is a bit thick, so you can use a thinner crochet hook to do that, or you can use a tapestry needle. Let me just grab that there. I keep them handy, and on a piece of wool so I can find them easy. So all I'm going to do now, I'll just put the needle in where I would like to weave it in, just like that. I hope I didn't pull it too, or cut it too short now. and I just pull it through like that. Easy, simple, it's worked away. I pulled it a bit tight now, so I've messed up my little stitch there at the top, so let's just release it a little bit. That looks better. Oh, I think I was talking too much. Hold on, let me just do this. Let me not get this whole thing confused here because I pulled it too tight. This is what happens when you don't watch what you're doing and you talk too much like me. Here we go. Let's just do it like that. That's perfect. I'll work this away quickly. Just pull it through like that and do that. Not a little extra stitch I had going there. That's better. And now we will just put in the needle. I like doing it like this because then you know, it's done. It's out the way, and at the end of my project, or shall I say at the end of making all the little flowers, I won't need to sit and get all my yarns worked away. That's it. All right. Now for us to start with our little daisy petals, I'm going to change to the white yarn. And there we go. Very simple, very easy. I'm going to put my needle in. Can you see there? It forms a little V at the top. So I'm going to put my needle in through both those loops. Through both the loops. And I'm just going to hold my new color change like that. Bring it through. And I like to crochet the first stitch with this tail in as well. It makes it a bit thick. So please just have a look. It's just my preference, but we just pull it through like that, wriggle it through a bit. It makes it a bit of a bigger stitch, but we'll work that away. That's the way for me to secure it. Now, in order to start making my petals, that was now my first chain that I've made there. I need 10 chains in total, so we've already got one, so let's go. The first stitch is going to be a bit thick now because I've got the double and I pulled it too tight. There we go. That's 2 chains, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now I've got my 10 chains, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the very next stitch. Now can you see there's the one that we've just started in? Can I bring it a bit closer? Is the camera going to zoom in for us? Yes. So in the very next stitch, I'm going to make a slip stitch. Now in order to do a slip stitch, I'm going to put the needle in under both the loops, grab the yarn and bring it forward, and then just take it through my slip stitch as well. Oops. It's very careful that you don't pull it too tight, otherwise you won't get the needle through. I mean the crochet hook. I keep on saying needle. I'll get it right eventually. And just when I get it right, I'm going to change to knitting needles, and I suppose I'll call it a crochet hook again. Right, now let's do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Find the next stitch through both the loops and bring the yarn forward and pull it through. And there I've got already 2 petals. Last one, and then I'll leave you so you can do your petals in peace without me jabbering in your ear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Into the very next stitch, go through both the loops and do a slip stitch. And there we go. And you will continue in this way until you get to the end, and you will have a total of 16 petals. There will be a total of 16 petals. Remember, 16 double crochets, so we're going to have 16 petals. I'll see you at the end of this round. And there we have it. I've done my 16 petals. I've done my last slip stitch. And now all I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it through so I can cut it off. And there's my daisy. Now it will look like this. What, a spider or something? I don't know yet. But once you're done with it, just put it down flat, straighten it out a little bit, and it is looking pretty much like a daisy. If you have counted your stitches wrong and you maybe made 11 stitches and then you went back to 10 stitches, you will possibly see that the length of your petal will vary. Or if you make them, if you don't hold the yarn snug, you might have big holes in it, but your first one might look crooked. Please save it. They're precious. It's going to be a reminder of the first time you ever made a daisy. Just like I have something that I did the first time ever, and when I look at it now, I laugh and I go, thank heavens I've moved on from that. So you have to have a first one. But if this is your first one and it's not 100% perfect, guess what? It's your first one. You've created it awesome. And that is how we make a little daisy. Now I'm going to go ahead. I've got some odd pieces lying around here. I don't know, but this looks pretty much like a project that I can, this looks like something I can use. This, yeah, so let's get the wheels in motion and see how I'm going to use these little daisies. If this has inspired you to make something, please do come and show us. I love seeing it when other people also get to be creative and they make beautiful stuff. I love beautiful stuff. What can I say? I like creating nice looking stuff. So yes, that is how you create your daisy. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you at the next one. And please do remember, when you're watching this, please click on the subscribe button. That way you will get all the updates and all the future DVDs, right? The future videos coming out, and you'll never miss a video. So please remember to go down to the bottom there and go hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.